leave timestamps down below so you could skip over this first part if you don't want to hear it and you just want to jump to the similarities and differences between these four wigs. But I have to mention this for my subscribers. As many of you know, I really don't look at numbers of subscribers and likes. I'm here to help with wigs. That's it. That's all I care about. This is my hobby, so I do it just to help those of you that are looking for a style. But YouTube is up to its shenanigans. About 6 months, 8 months ago, YouTube did a sweep where they removed like 10,000 subscribers from my channel, which is fine because the reason they do it is to remove people that aren't active or bots that may have crawled into YouTube for one reason or another. What's upsetting about this, or the downside of all of this, is when they do those sweeps, they also remove real subscribers. So if you are subscribed to my channel, you don't see the notification, it could mean that you have been unsubscribed in one of those sweeps. So I just want to let you know if you don't see notification, because within the last few days I have received some messages on Facebook or email telling me, Marlene, why aren't you uploading? I haven't received any notification, and it's because of that. They've been unsubscribed. So if you are someone and whether it's me or another content creator, it doesn't matter. They often do this, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. We never know when that's going to happen. So if you see that you're not receiving notification, go to that content creator's page and make sure that you're still subscribed, and the same applies to me. This is not going to be a wig review. I have reviews on all of these wigs, and I will leave the videos linked for you down below in case you want to know more about the style or about the color. Belle Tress is just launching one right after the other of so many styles, especially in the City collection. As many of you know, the City collection is kind of like the umbrella, and then we have these different collections that fall under it. And there have been a lot of styles that have been added to the City collection. So what I'm going to do today, I just chose 4 styles. These are from I'm sure there are others, but these are from my collection that are so close and so similar. And I thought that it might help you because as I was going through Belle Tress inventory, I see that many styles, especially some of the new ones like Vancouver or Chicago, they're on back order. They're not to be I think shipped till September or October. A lot of them ran out during the pre-order. Anyway, so these are very similar. I'll tell you how similar they are and what their differences are in case there's a style that you really want and you don't see it and you don't find it because it's on back order. Maybe you could have one of these, you could wear one of these other styles. These 4 that I'm going to show you are all from the City collection. They all have a weft cap, a monofilament part. They have an extended nape, an extended lace front, and Velcro adjusters. Lots of stretch to the cap. They all I have a 21.5-inch circumference, and I have to cinch them in all the way to the center in order to get a proper fit. And just so you can gauge how these styles may fall on you, because on me, wigs tend to appear a little bit shorter. My face from hairline to chin is 7 3/4, and my neck is 5 inches. So with all that said, let's get started. This first one is Park Avenue, and mine is in Raw Sugar Blonde. Park Avenue is perhaps the shortest of the 4 that I'm going to show you. However, the difference is so minimal. We have sides of 7 to 10 inches. So lots of layers here. I just noticed as I was combing it through that we have a little bit of a sweep right here at the front. The overall is 12.5 inches and the nape is 5 inches on Park Avenue. Nice, easy style. I don't know if I mentioned it, but none of these have really any permatease, and they are low density. This is Vancouver in the color dark brown plus HL. Vancouver also has a left monopart, just like Park Avenue, and the measurements are very similar as we find on Park Avenue. They're 7 to 10 inches on Park Avenue, and they're 7 to 12 inches on Vancouver. The overall is almost exactly the same, with between 7.5 inches to 14 inches. So just slightly longer, about an inch and a half longer than what we saw on Park Avenue. The nape is also about 5 inches. The difference that I'm seeing here is this front part. We have this little wave, but it seems to be just a little bit longer than what we had on Park Avenue. And if you, I don't know if it's box hair, I have to tell you right now, but because I just reviewed it like 2 days ago. But you see how it's not as straight right here. There seems to be a little wave. So is that box hair? I'm not sure. More defined wave where it's not as straight as what we saw on Park Avenue. This is Modena and Coolest Ash Brown R. I believe I said in one of my what I believe I said in the video where either I reviewed Vancouver or Chicago, one of those two. I said that Modena was shorter, and it's not. Modena is actually the longest one of these four that I'm showing you today. Modena has an overall of 16 inches. So it's longer by about an inch and a half to 2 inches longer than the other three. Modena also has a center part, while the other three that I'm showing you today have a left part. Some wearers don't care for a center part, but if you love this style and you don't care for the center part, then perhaps one of the other three would suit you a lot better. I love center part, so the center part doesn't bother me, but I need to point that out. With Modena, we don't have too much of that wave right here at the front. We have those layers. The layers on Modena are between 6 and 12 inches. Out of the four that I have today, Modena is the one with the highest weight. It has 4.3 ounces. So what that's telling me is that the density is going to be slightly higher, while the others have 3.7, 3.9 ounces. Modena goes a little bit higher with the density. But as far as the permatease is concerned, we really don't have any permatease to speak of. This is Chicago in Mocha Maple Brown. With Chicago, we're going to have the most relaxed layers. Very straight, very, very straight. This is more along the lines of, say, Mellow from Aesthetica, where you have those choppy layers, except on Chicago, we're going to have longer layers than I believe there are on Mellow. The layers on Chicago are between 9 and 13 inches. I believe they might be a little bit shorter on Mellow. The other difference between Mellow and Chicago is that Mellow has permatease, and the density is not as high, but it does have permatease that we're not going to find on Chicago. Out of these four, Chicago is actually the one with the lowest density. It only has 3.7 ounce, it only weighs 3.7 ounces. So that way you can probably tell that it really is a low density piece. We have a left mono part, and the overall length is between 9.5 and 15 inches. The nape on it is 7.5 inches, so very close to Modena, which has 8 inches on the nape. So if you like something a little bit longer than, say, Park Avenue, which only has a nape of 5 inches, you might like one like Chicago. And if you want more relaxed layers on it. And of course, you could always add steam. You could always use a flat iron if you just want a little bit of a sleeker style on any of these, because they're all heat friendly. All right, let me know what you think. Let me know if you would like me to do more of these comparisons, and I will certainly do them for you. Just let me know which styles, and if I have them, I will certainly put up a video comparing the styles. Sometimes it's difficult when we look at those stock photos and they appear to be so similar, and we're like, okay, what's the difference? I know that on the Facebook groups, I'm always asked, well, what's the difference between this style and that style? Because the stock photos don't tell the entire story. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate you spending this time with me. I hope that you're all having a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.